From Wall Street to Main Street, this is LALATE.
It's a big morning of early mornings LALATE. The toast is toasting, the butter is buttering. I'm here, you're here. And guess what's also here? This stimulus? Yes. While we're dealing with forced stimulus, those monthly stimulus checks that would pay you a check every day for at least the rest of this year, well, every month for the rest of this year, this stimulus is heating up with another round of stimulus. And I'll explain why this stimulus is going to help forced stimulus. Here's the catch. This stimulus has a big price tag, and ultimately with the president looking to spend now $6 trillion, says a new report yesterday, between his first 9 months in office, it signals that forced stimulus has to go by reconciliation. In this recording, I break down for you why reconciliation now is being pushed faster than ever. I'll go over the monthly checks under the forced stimulus package. I'll also go over the shocking great details and new announcements for SSI reform. Oh boy. Brand new details released in detailing exclusively and extensively how SSI benefits could be increased across the map a lifetime. It's a major recording with big updates about student loan debt forgiveness, the big updates about the wealth tax and the new Elizabeth Warren bills, and also what's happening with businesses and also mortgage assistance. A lot of big developments from forced stimulus to this stimulus. This is new mornings of early mornings LA kicking up its feet right now. Let's get to it as early mornings LA gets underway this very moment. And I'm here, you're here, and I'm really excited for you because finally a lot of people have your back. An incredible series of new documents, both from Democrats and also from big advocates for SSI reform hitting, yes, just yesterday. I'll detail that all across the board. In this recording, I'm going over fourth stimulus, those recurring stimulus checks, fifth stimulus, that big money that could reform the SSI system across the board, whether you're a veteran or whether you're on Social Security, whether you're on disability as well. Also, the great news that happened yesterday with Elizabeth Warren for the wealth tax that could fund the $2,400 of SSI and SSDI. Meantime, the big developing details about mortgage forbearance and the assistance for that money, the $6,000 from Ron Wyden with that standalone bill, and also what's happening with student loan debt forgiveness. It's a big broadcast. And thank you for joining me. If you've not subscribed, make sure you subscribe. Also like this video. And if you've not become a member, consider becoming a member. Purple Hawk, Purple Power, or Calcino VIP. The link's at the top of the chat and in the pinned comment. We're approaching our 1-year anniversary in just a few days, April 25th, so help us to get to 400,000 subscribers. We're almost there. Boy, what a day it is. Are you ready for this? Let's do it. First, fourth stimulus got an unlikely advocate yesterday. Who helped it? Fifth stimulus. Why? Because fifth stimulus was signaled yesterday in a new briefing that says the president wants to spend an additional $1 trillion in September's new bill called the fifth stimulus package, also called the America Family Plan. The America's Family Plan in September, aka fifth stimulus, carries a price tag of $1 trillion. The fourth stimulus package, which gives you the monthly stimulus checks, carries a $3 trillion stimulus price tag. Fourth stimulus is also called the Americans Job Plan or the Infrastructure Bill. Look at this graphic, because this graphic is signaling your e-ticket to stimulus checks. Why? It says $6 trillion. Yes, no Republican. No Republican. Short, tall, brushing the hair over to the side or brushing over that side, or, dressing in a green suit or a blue suit is ever going to give one president $6 trillion to spend in 9 months. It means the president has to go by reconciliation for the fourth stimulus package. And you want reconciliation. Reconciliation is the only path to get stimulus checks. The president's not going to give you stimulus checks, and the Republicans are not going to give you stimulus checks. The people who are the Senate and House Democrats. You want this bill to only go by reconciliation, and while the president's trying to make it look like it's bipartisan, nothing's going to go bipartisan in fourth stimulus or fifth stimulus. $6 trillion is nothing a Republican will do. Yesterday and the day before, the Republicans came out very clear that for purposes of negotiation, fourth stimulus is dead because they're not going to support it because it has climate in there and because it has a price tag of over $1 trillion. They want to spend about $600 billion or half a trillion. Did I say half a billion? I meant half a trillion. They probably would have spent that as well. So let's look at the graphic for how we get to the finish line. Away we go. The stimulus checks, how many, how often, and how much do they pay? How much moolah? It depends on who you're talking to. The House members want to give you a stimulus check every month through the pandemic, plus 1 year. That would amount to 18 checks. The senators want to give you a stimulus check from now to December. That would be about 6 checks. Who are the movers and shakers? Well, the House members are progressives, and the senators are the core of the Democratic leadership, the elder statesmen of the Democratic caucus. And then we look at the monthly check amount. The House members want to pay $1,000 per month after the first month. The senators are unknown, but word on the street is it looks like this. It's either $2,000 a month or it's $1,400 a month. It's either $12,000 over 6 months or $8,400 over 6 months. Now, you may look at that graphic and say, wow, but LALATE, that looks like a lot of money. That just looks like a lot of money. Who's going to give me all that money in 2020? I couldn't get anything from these people. Well, look what happens in fifth stimulus in September. A new report released yesterday says in September, the president will do literally almost exactly what I told you he was going to do. The president in the fifth stimulus package in September is proposing to pay a child tax credit over 5 years. How much is the president proposing to pay other people other than you in September? Get ready for this one. He wants to pay $300 a month for a child 17 to newborn over 5 years on top of the year they're being paid now. So 6 years. It's upwards of $20,000 to $25,000 he has actually proposed under the fifth stimulus package of September for children 17 or under. So do not feel guilty about looking at a stimulus check amount for you, yourself, you individually, of $8,000 when the president's looking to spend $16,000, $18,000 for young adults and young children. Let's go back to that graphic and understand the money at play and understand the push to get this out the door. What's important to understand is who gets this for stimulus. It's if you make less than $75,000, you get it. If you're a household of 4 or less, you get it. If you're on SSI or SSDI, you get it. Viewers have asked me, is this income? No. Does it count towards my benefits? No. Am I allowed to still get it and still be on benefits? Yes. The vote-a-rama and the reconciliation, the path to get it done. But in this recording, I'm going to explain to you how the House members have a different choice to how to get it done. But let's go back to this graphic. Purple power, do your thing. Hashtag MSC, hashtag purple power. This is the single biggest payout ever for an individual, not a child, on this channel. Now, here is the Senate item. If we're talking about the House members, we're looking at $1,000 over about 18 months. That's $18,000 versus the senators, where we're looking at about 6 months with a larger check. Well, that is forced stimulus. And that forced stimulus got that incredible, ironic push yesterday, or almost like collateral push, when the president who's trying to look bipartisan and not spend a lot of money and not keep the price tag so high came out and said, you know, while I'm talking to you about forced stimulus, get ready for fifth stimulus because I want to spend $1 trillion for that as well. And I just spent $3 trillion in just 2 weeks ago on the third stimulus. So I want to spend $6 trillion this year. I don't know how he says it with a straight face, because that's what he wants to do. That's what he wants to do. That's what he gets. That's what he can do by reconciliation. But you can't say that to the people on the other side of the negotiating table when they want to give you 500 billion. They don't want to do 1 trillion or 3 trillion or let alone 6 trillion. If you've not noticed, because I haven't mentioned in a while, the Republicans didn't want to do the $3 trillion third stimulus package, which just sent you a stimulus check. They wanted to do that at a couple $100 billion. So we're already behind $2 trillion that they didn't want to give you. And now he's trying to add another couple trillion on this one. And then he wants to add another trillion on the fall. Yeah, they're just not going to do that. So this is great news for you. And this is why Leader Schumer knows what he's doing. Several weeks ago, Leader Schumer prepared this exact path by getting as many reconciliations he can get from the Senate parliamentarian. If you weren't with me a few weeks ago, Senator Schumer won a major ruling which said from the Senator parliamentarian that he can revise the third stimulus with the fourth stimulus and not use up a prior stimulus. Wow. Now, here's what you need to know, is that Leader Schumer now has 2 more reconciliations from now to July. And if he doesn't use one, he can save it, because guess what, in the fall, he also gets another reconciliation. He currently has, to the end of December, 3 more reconciliations to use, and we only have 2 more stimulus packages currently on the proposal, 4th and 5th. President set up in a very good path to get this to Votorama. But here is that other big, exciting, great news that came out of nowhere yesterday. It was huge. That SSI and SSDI, Social Security and Rural Benefits, will get amended, get revised, get reformed, get implemented, get increased in the 5th stimulus package. Yes. In a scathing letter yesterday, signed by all the same Democrats who want to give you the monthly stimulus checks, they wrote, the president said, "You got to do what you promised on the campaign trail, sir." They actually said that. They said you campaign for certain things. During your transition papers, you said certain things. You have to hold what you wanted to propose. And they actually quote his own papers. What are they doing? They're calling for the 5th stimulus to include these SSI reforms in September. Here is the letter. It's pages after pages. It's 2 pages long, and then has literally 2 pages of signatures from everyone from Sherrod Brown to Bernie Sanders, Elizabeth Warren, Ron Wyden. Pages after pages after pages. What does it propose? It's incredible. First, it proposes to increase your benefits. Second, it increases your asset limits. Third, tie your benefits to inflation. Third, remove the current income exclusion. And finally, reduce the marriage penalty. Let me explain what it says one after another. Much of this comes from Biden's own words. First, it wants to raise your benefit levels currently where they are. Basically, send you a bigger check every month, perpetuity. We believe, if you are correct, this is what the letter says, we believe, Mr. President, you are correct, and you asked to raise the benefits to at least 100% above the poverty level. So he wants to raise your benefits upwards of about 100% where they are right now. Incredible, great news. Then they want to increase the asset limit. Let me explain what that means. The current asset limit was last updated in 1984, which restricts recipients to $2,000 in accounts in their bank or $3,000 for a married couple. Because this limit is not indexed to inflation, it grows steadily more draconian each year. Lifting this asset cap is long overdue. So he's basically want to remove the entire asset limit cap completely, and then index it going forward to inflation. Let's go to the next one. Inflation benchmark. Inflation would determine a lot of things going forward. First, it would tie they would raise your benefits, bring them up to date. Then they would tie them to inflation, which grows at about 2% per year. That's a huge growth for you, as opposed to COLA, which is currently flat. And then it would increase your asset limit every year as well, and tying that to inflation, which is a great idea. It would update then another provision, which is the income exclusion. Current guidelines say you can't make a certain amount of money based upon a 1962 benchmark. That 1962 benchmark has not been updated since 1962. The letter says, shamefully, the modern SSI program maintains the same income exclusion from a half century ago, since 1962. Had the original exclusion been indexed to inflation and carried forward into SSI, it would be worth $745 a month today. Basically, they want you to be able to work if you do want to work and still stay on benefits. You can't because you're tied to a calculation dating back to 1962. And finally, want to eliminate the marriage penalty, which is among those items. The letter signed by all these people whose names you recognize in the Senate and the Congress, like Pete DeFazio, who I detailed in September of last year, in October last year. He wanted to revise Social Security. He's a member of Congress, or Wyden, or Warren, or Sanders, or Brown. It says history will not forgive us if we fail to address these needs in the recovery effort. We ask you to prioritize this and get this done in the America Family Plan, the AFP, which is this fifth stimulus. Very exciting. The Democrats are proposing SSI reform in September. And so what you need to know is the following. This is the sort of time horizon for stimulus. Now is the push to get forced stimulus out the door. Get it done because it's a 2-month process at least. Call it for a vote. Leader Speaker Pelosi says the vote will be by July 4th. Stimulus checks go out about 10 days thereafter. First round of stimulus checks in July, then August, then September, all the way through at least December. And then by September, we would see this new revising of your benefits. If you're on benefits, incredible great news. Incredible great news. And guess what? I got more about the wealth tax that could ultimately fund $2,400 and additional stimulus that you've never heard before coming up right out this commercial break. It's a good early morning's LA broadcast. I'll be back in 60 seconds. See you then. If you want money right now, not 5 days from now, and not 5 weeks from now, then reach out to the community page. The volunteers can help you find that money for rent and utilities. That's at news.la.com/community. The community page features a series of volunteers who are viewers like you. They can help you find rent, utilities, SNAP, food benefits, mortgage assistance, and help you with eviction moratorium questions as well. Their Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram individuals reach out to them and indicate the city and state you're from, and they'll get back to you shortly. That's a community page. Volunteers working for you, viewers helping one another. Stay with LA for more. Join LALATE Daily for the excitement of the new LALATE live daily. The excitement starts on mornings LALATE at 9 a.m. Home LALATE returns at 11 a.m. daily. And then afternoons LALATE at 1 p.m. Join us daily as the excitement continues live from Santa Monica on LALATE. And the excitement continues right now on Early Mornings LA. Coming up later this broadcast, it's actually serious. It's Amazon hair. Nancy, are you excited? Yes, Amazon hair is happening. I'll explain to you why this is making Wall Street very excited across the board. Amazon hair is happening, and could it be any sooner than later? So glad you joined me. If you've not subscribed, make sure you subscribe. Also, like this video, and if you're not become a member, consider becoming a member. We're approaching our 1-year anniversary in just a few days. We're trying to get to 400,000 subscribers, so give us a subscribe. Also, like this video. Try to do 2,000-3,000 likes. Boy, big news across the board, and it happened yesterday when Elizabeth Warren wrote this letter. This letter was to Leo Cooperman, who I've detailed on this channel before. He's an opponent to her idea for a wealth tax. The wealth tax is heating up again. Wow. Elizabeth Warren's wealth tax, if you were with me about 2 months ago, is that standalone bill, which was detailed during her campaign for president. During her campaign for president, she was asked, how are you going to pay for that $2,400 of SSI, SSDI? She said, I'm going to do a wealth tax bill. But we didn't see it until 2 months ago when she actually introduced it to the Senate. There is a wealth tax bill in the Senate. And guess what? She's calling it for a discussion this coming Tuesday, April 27th, and has invited Leo Cooperman to attend. First, this is big news because she's suddenly making her big bill that would pay for items like SSI reform front page news and front page discussion next week. Number two, the letter is also very important for you because if you are part of the Purple Power family and are a member and you've been pushing Elizabeth Warren for student loan debt forgiveness, MSC, SSI reform, or anything else I've covered on the channel that she's behind as well, you want to refer to page 2 of the letter, in which she has, in this publicly published letter, her contact information for her staffer that fields input for social issues like this. So reach out to that individual if you so wish and express your opinions professionally about SSI reform, MSC under the fourth stimulus, and student loan debt forgiveness. What about student loan forgiveness? What's going on with that? Well, Warren and Schumer are not happy, and neither am I, because the president has yet to give us an update. The memo was due last Friday. Imagine how long it's been. Yes, Miguel Cardone was to release that memo last Friday detailing if the president could forgive student loan debt by executive order. He can, because Obama did it, Trump did it. So where's the letter? I haven't seen it. Has the president updated us? No. Also hitting is the surprising detail about rent and mortgages. A new report realizes that details that rent, utilities, food, mortgage assistance, and homeowners assistance under the second stimulus has yet to land in some states. What? Yes. Meantime, the other money will be landing in May. May's going to be a big month because there's that landing in May. There's a $10,200 of unemployment tax credit that's coming back to you if you filed your 2020 tax return already and pay taxes on your first $10,200 of unemployment. That tax credit's coming back. And then we're expecting updates from IRS how to update them about that child. If you're waiting for that $3,600 for that child 16 or 17 or younger, yeah, we're waiting for that update as well. Also, big exciting details are still anticipating that Ron Wyden bill. Ron Wyden wants to pay you $6,000 a year if you need it. How does this work? If you're a PUA applicant or a PUA receiver of benefits, you know it's going away in September. So then what? He proposes to extend it with a new program that would pay you $250 a week for up to 6 months per year, $6,000. It's an incredible idea, and he's basically thinking out of the box as Americans need to prepare for the next stage of this economy going forward. Meantime, what is the President of the United States doing for purposes of fourth stimulus? This is what you need to know. Tomorrow and Friday, Thursday and Friday, is the President's 2-day conferences on climate. And during those 2 days of conferences on climate, the President's going to potentially enter some executive orders. He's also going to make climate front page news, which is the single most important thing to get you a stimulus check. Why? Because Republicans don't want to do climate under the fourth stimulus. And that's Thursday and Friday. Thursday is a very big day, and Friday is an even bigger day for corporate earnings because Friday, American Express reports. And as Jim Cramer said last week, that American Express may be our biggest eyesight or indicator as to where this economy is going. Yesterday, Netflix reported after the markets closed, Jim Cramer was expecting good numbers. It came in relatively flat. Earnings and revenue were a beat, but exactly what they anticipated. But the subscriber growth, OMG, it wasn't there. In fact, the subscriber growth was nearly 50% lower than what Wall Street anticipated. It shows you that potentially Wall Street doesn't know what's going on. Maybe they need a new haircut. Maybe they need to go to the Amazon salon. The Amazon salon? Yes, the Amazon salon. Amazon is introducing an actual new salon. It's in London, and it's actually very funny, but also very important for purposes of you and your economy here in the United States. Amazon sees the need to modify and diversify its business model. And so it's opening a new salon in London where you can get your hair done. Nancy, are you on the plane yet? You can get your hair done and have a virtual wall to determine how you would look in different shades of hair color. I wonder if Mitch has booked an appointment yet. That virtual wall is among the technical advances that Amazon's seen in doing this. This is its first store, East London, first for employees, but then for everyone else. Why is this important for you? Because Wall Street is trying to see how businesses diversify as the pandemic lifts, as businesses get back to normal, as we reopen. This week we saw Coca-Cola try to deal with the reopening play. And what do? They said, we're going to raise the prices of our beverages. Okay. And then Coinbase had the IPO last week. And their IPO was about a one-track business, which is, transactional. Amazon is trying a lot of different things, and ultimately trying a lot of different things may be the future of where businesses survive in this post-pandemic environment. Netflix was an example. The lockdown is over. People are starting to go out. They're not subscribing like the magnitude they once did. So with that, things have to modify. But what will modify when it comes to stimulus checks? That's up for the House and Senate. Those House and Senators have a lot to do, and that excitement starts in the House. Remember, it was the House members who proposed first in a 100-page letter, 100 signature letter, that we need to have stimulus checks monthly. And then Tlaib and Jalapal, then also supported by Omar, introduced what they called as the Automatic Boost Communities ABC Act. That would provide stimulus checks every month. That is part of the guidance that will work as forced stimulus makes its way through the House and Senate. What does it say? The legislation is to immediately provide $2,000 payment to every person in America, critical relief during this COVID crisis, followed by $1,000 reoccurring monthly checks throughout the ongoing pandemic that continues for 1 year after the end of the crisis. So there's the analysis. $2,000 to start, every American, and then $1,000 per month during the pandemic, and then $1,000 per month thereafter. That's the mindset of not just a few people, but over 100 in the House. The mindset for the senators is much the same, just a shorter period of time, to December. And while the House members may be talking about $1,000 per month, the senators are talking about potentially more money per month. They're looking at a bigger payout over a shorter period of time, a bigger monthly payout over a shorter period of time, whether it's $12,000 or $8,000. Don't feel guilty. Don't think that this is out of the ordinary. Don't use 2020 as your benchmark. Look at what the president wants to do in fifth stimulus. Fifth stimulus in September, the America Family Act, compared to the American Job Act we're doing now, proposes to spend a fortune. And that fortune is for other people. Now is your opportunity, Purple Power, your opportunity to push. So push Purple Power, hashtag MSC, hashtag Purple Power. Share this video on social media, tag your elected officials, push, 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 because ultimately, one, you want this to go to recon. Second, once we're at recon, we can relax a little bit and then focus on pushing on the provisions like the MSC once it's in recon. It hasn't started recon yet, and you want to push, because with July 4th around the corner, it takes 2 months to do this. And as one viewer asked me yesterday, she said, LA, is it really 2 months or is it less? I said, I'm worried it could be longer. Third stimulus was the revision of a second stimulus bill. So third stimulus was, when it went by recon, was only 300 pages long. Infrastructure is a brand new bill. Roads and bridges haven't been written up in a prior bill. Tax changes to the tax code hasn't been written up in a prior bill. It's going to take a lot of pages. And when you're talking about tax code, there's going to be a lot of debates, whether it's a House subcommittee or not. You need to get this going and get it going soon. And with that, if you've not subscribed, make sure you subscribe. Also like this video. And if you've not become a member, consider becoming a member. Purple Hawk, Purple Power, Calcino VIP. We got a full lineup today, and I'm so excited to see you throughout the day. Mornings LALATE is at 12 noon Eastern Standard Time. Then we go into noon time, then into afternoons. A new show every 2 hours. Then it's afternoons at 6, evenings at 8, and late night thereafter. With that, I want you to have a great morning. Make sure you stay informed, stay focused, keep on smiling. It's a good morning, and we're going to have a great time. I know you didn't bring the bacon. I'll forgive you. I'll forgive you there's no bacon. I mean, tomorrow make it up to me, bring some bacon. But with that, stay informed, stay focused, and have a great early mornings. And see you soon on Mornings LA.